Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. And what a beautiful way to begin. First and foremost, I hope you're doing well. Today is Friday, November 21st, 2025. It is 12:30 on the clock, on the dot on the clock. 1230, 12:30. So today I have a special message for you. I'm going to be using the cards, the Dawl Phace deck of the Ghetto Nun. I'm sure you've come across her channel. Maybe some are even subscribed. She's a dynamic reader, spiritualist, intuitive in these YouTube streets, literally in spirit and in truth in these streets. And I've been subscribed to her channel for a long time and have always had an appreciation for her uniqueness and her authenticity in the spiritual space, in tarot land, if you will. So I've had her deck for a long time. This one, I think she has another one too, but this is the one that I was excited to buy. And I've had it for a while, but like some of my other pieces in my collection, I've just kind of been waiting for what felt like a divine time to share it in a video. So now is that time, because tomorrow, Saturday, November 22nd, she is hosting what is more or less like a virtual prayer event. She does it ever so often as she feels guided to, but basically it invites her subscribers and of course anyone, that is connected to her channel or connected to the invitation, such as now, to be in prayer at a specific time for usually a certain amount of minutes. So for 11:22, it's going to be there's going to be prayer at 11:22 a.m. and 11:22 p.m. and the time frame of prayer is going to be for 33 minutes. Now, if you feel like that sounds like a long time, trust me, once you get into prayer, once you just start, focusing yourself and centering yourself on calling in high vibrational energy and making positive intentions and proclamations for the greatest good of yourself and then even overall, there's so much that can be prayed about at this time, and I'm sure you would agree. So my experience is that this is one of the longer spans of time that she has set for 33 minutes, but my experience is that even in some of the shorter intervals, I usually end up praying for much longer than the time that was set, because like I said, you just get into a flow and you start realizing all the things that are necessary to say and so on and so forth. So I love it. I have shared it as like a FYI on my channels before, but I kind of pulled back from it for kind of personal spiritual reasons, not participating, but broadcasting it to my space. I don't know, I just felt guided to kind of pull back and allow myself to participate, but not to be completely transparent. Like, I didn't want to attract any, like, almost funnel or channel any negative energy that may be directed toward me, toward that space, because I do think it is very sacred. And I feel like whenever I've tapped into the prayer circle, if you will, some powerful things have taken place, because just having that level of synergy with people all across the world, all across the country, intentional about doing good, speaking good, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4 on the clock as I speak, 12:34. It makes an impact. I've witnessed it, I've experienced it, and I wanted to keep it pure, not to have it be tainted or corrupted, you know, in ways that I was vulnerable to certain attacks and intrusions and things. I wasn't quite sure if it was, but I just wanted to be safe. But today, for whatever reason, I feel like it's a powerful time to tap in. And I feel secure to share that with whomever is listening. And it's such a sacred space that if you tap in with any other intentions, but positive ones, or those of light and love, you're probably going to hurt yourself. So that's a word to the less wise and an invitation to the wise to come on in tomorrow, 11/22/2025 at 11:22 a.m., 11:22 p.m. your time. So it's happening in ripples all across the land. And for 33 minutes or for as long as you can. And shoot, every now and again it's only actually been one time that I've missed a moment and I've made up for it in my way. So if there's something pressing on you at that time, like I said, there's never a bad time to jump into prayer, and that's the synergy of the day overall. So if you can jump in maybe on some other time zone that makes more sense to you, or whenever you can, I'm sure it will add value indeed. So there's that. Without further ado, I literally just took the cards out the pack, and this is where we started. I haven't worked with these cards at all, and I'm so excited because I mean, look at this beautiful, well, I think I had like kind of sifted through them when I first got them, but I haven't like done any channeling with them or anything like that. So this is where we are to start. This must have been where I left off for good reason, because isn't that such a beautiful picture? Like, look at that. The sun. If that ain't the sun, if that ain't light, divine light, I don't know what is. So some of you may be missing the sun. Or hell, if this is you, if you see yourself in this image, you are missed in this season. It's kind of a dark, it started kind of the drab of fall. Even winter drafts, I feel like started kind of sweeping in a little bit early this year in a strange way. Definitely, of course, with the time change, we're having a little less light than usual during the day. So it could be, missing that vibrance of the sun and the spring and summer seasons. Could be kind of yearning for it in a sense. Or like I said, this could be you, and this is the energy that you embody, and somebody could be missing you or yearning for that frequency of light that you bring whenever you are present. Whenever you enter a room, this might be what you light it up with, or you could be, I was going to say, I sideswiped this, but sidelined it, but you could be looking forward to maybe a little winter getaway. That would be nice. That would definitely, I'm definitely calling that into my life. A little, retreat from the winter, go somewhere. Resort season is what they call it, like right after, the holidays, usually top of January, February, somewhere around there is when you start to really be fatigued from the winter and the cold, and you find some escape somewhere warm. Now, people like the ghetto nun who live on the West Coast don't really have that much of, probably don't have the blues so much because it's sunny California, but for us here on the East Coast, we're already like, shoot, whenever it's sunny, you can just tell everybody had the same idea. They in the streets. Like, let me soak up as much of this sun as I possibly can. And hell, that could have been the thought, when you were at your brightest, or when you were most accessible. That's what I'm getting, like when you were most accessible to others to absorb, or to experience as a vibrant energy, a vital energy. That word has been coming up, vitality, in my oracle deck. A vital energy. Maybe people could have taken advantage of that. Maybe they could have overstepped. Maybe some could have taken it for granted. But for whatever it is now, I strongly just get this sense that some people are wishing to have that presence in their life or be present in your energy, almost desperately. I feel like, honestly, like it feels like a bit of a desperation or just a really strong yearning, for whatever that's worth. Okay, so I'm going, oh, here she is. Here you go. If you've never seen her, this is the Ghetto Nun. This is the Dawl Phace deck, copyrighted in 2024, and her name is trademark, so she's done all the steps, bless her heart. All right, so let's see, and of course I will leave the link to this deck. Usually it's in stock, but every now and again it's out, and also her handle to her channel if you somehow don't know. All right, so let's see what we got. Oh snap, 7 of Wands. Oh so the 7 of Wands, that's somebody on guard. Like this could be you now, like where lights out nigga. Jigga, what's my name? Jigga, who I'm rolling with, huh, my nigga. Just better get it right. Just better get it right. Oh, snap. I know she probably wouldn't necessarily appreciate me singing that over this card, but hey, that's what channel. That's what channel. But 7 of Wands is like definitely being on guard, like, you know, don't come any further or I'll shoot type of energy. So that could be the position that, you know, the poise now of those that would like to, you know, that's what is could be encountered from those that would like to approach, or maybe that's the energy that you're projecting now, whether you realize it or not, that it's almost like a threat, you know, or there's some threat of being blown away or pushed back or you know, shot on sight. I don't know, like what is it, like intruders will be shot or something like that type of sign. Yeah, so that's the reason why there could be this yearning from a distance, because for the energy that's being emitted from you in this by this depiction is no nonsense. Like it's not of someone that's really looking to play a whole bunch of games, that's going to be too sentimental or even too understanding. It's like shoot first, ask questions later, like not very objective, very cut and dry. Even though it's the Wands, like I'm just feeling like a certain callous about this energy right now, where and protective. Obviously, the 7 of Wands traditionally is about kind of standing your ground, protecting your energy, not flinching on what you've established for yourself, like not allowing yourself to be persuaded or manipulated, particularly, and there being a very strong like you're not gonna play me type of energy, you know, because I'm not even going to give you the leadway to do so. So just don't even try, because it'd be better for you to stay where you are, keep your distance, than it would be to take your chances, because I ain't taking no chances. As soon as I see something that don't look good or seems like a threat, I'm like, again, I'm gonna shoot first, ask questions later. Like, oh man, yikes. And you looking good while doing it. Like, and that's the gotcha, because look how fly she looks, you know, even in her protective shield and in her gear. It's so tempting to want to cross those enemy lines or cross those boundaries. So you might not make it easy for people to stay away or to keep their distance, but if they know what's best for them, they might want to. All right, let's see what else we got. what's the name of that song? AG from the rock. Damn, I can't think of the name of that song. I feel like, is it just Jigga? I should know this. Being a huge Jay-Z fan. Oh, snap, that I was. I can't really say that I am now, but certainly was. Oh, shoot, I can't even get to this one. Hold on, y'all. Fell on the floor, but that's the 10 of coins. Look at her. She's, oh, and that looks like, it's kind of, I should probably pull these up a little bit because I know it gets a little dark down here. It's like Christmas dinner or something. Like, she looks so festive, like she's preparing, or maybe it feels more Christmassy because of how she's dressed, but it definitely is more relevant to say Thanksgiving because I think that's even a turkey. But I'm seeing these little berries, and then her dress is so red and green that it feels more Christmassy to me. But for all intents and purposes, let's say that that's Thanksgiving. All right, so you could actually be very, especially thoughtful about where you spend the holidays, and maybe for good reason. You know, like if there is a thought like maybe I'm doing too much by turning down certain invitations, or, you know, by maybe just staying at home and keeping it quiet. Oh, it's just Jigga, my N-word. Jigga, right? Is that the right one? I'm sorry, I just had to know. Yeah, it's just Jigga, my nigga. Produced by the Rough Riders. Okay, that was a dope era though. 1999. Wow. Oh, so that was on the Rough Riders album. How it end up on it? That's crazy, because I think, you know, this is kind of an aside, but I think that one of the, you know, how Dame Dash be like saying stuff. And I mean, generally the type of energy that he's in most of the time, you don't really think he's lying, but sometimes it just be like, all right, you know, like sometimes it'd be like, all right, sometimes it is enlightening, like, wow, that's what it really was, if it really was. But I think he said something to the effect like how Jay would strategically like poach songs that really weren't his. But like, I don't know if this is the case for that, but I know when I just looked it up, it came up on some Rough Riders album. And some, like, there were certain songs that we know to be his that actually were somebody else's that got hot first, and then he jumped on it. I think there's like a Cameron song like that that he had named. It was a couple of them where it was already circulating and had a little bit of a buzz, and then he jumped on it, and then all of a sudden it kind of like warped into it being more of a Jay-Z featuring somebody else song, but really it was somebody else featuring Jay-Z. And I don't know if that was just like the magnitude of his star power back then, but the way that Dame Dash was putting it, it was almost as if it was like a strategic move, you know, like a power move almost, to kind of like almost insert yourself into hot records, especially if he didn't necessarily have anything hot circulating at the time. And it kind of almost in a negative tone feels a bit like a bit of a siphoning type of energy, you know, like I don't know, you know, Jay is a Sagittarius, so a lot of times the way we move, matter of fact, it's a Sagittarius season. I think if not today, tomorrow, but early happy birthday, boo, because it's already happening. It's already popping. But the way we move sometimes it can be questionable from the outside in, but in the upright, a lot of times there's usually good intentions, or at least not nefarious ones. It's just like, well, it just makes sense to do it like that. Like, why leave any money or any influence on the table if you can, if you can help it. But the way that it was projected was like it was something a little bit shady, you know, like kind of underhanded. But anyway, who knows? I don't even know why that came up, other than the idea of really protecting your energy, especially when we're talking about the 10 of coins. So like I said, this could literally be you protecting your peace, protecting things that you've established for yourself up until this point with this 10 of coins, protecting something precious. And of course it projects a material aspect, but it doesn't have to be. You know, it could be protecting your home with the 7 of wands, or just protecting your right to do the holidays and to spend your time and your energy the way that you see fit. And that means that you could have hell of objections from others, like, well, you know, Thanksgiving is a time for family and friends, or it's a time to all be together, and we always do this at such and such house every year, and you know Big Mama gonna miss you, and you know. And it's no shade to anybody that really covets their traditions, because I certainly have over the years. Like, I've had long-standing traditions with family that I could, up until a few years ago, could have never imagined missing out on. Like, I couldn't even fathom not showing up for Thanksgiving dinner, you know, or Christmas dinner or whatever. But there could be good reason, especially in this season, that may not be necessarily an insult. Well, they may take it as an insult, but it may not be an attack against whomever you feel the need to disconnect from, or to stay secluded from, or just to be by yourself. You know, although there might be objections to that by way of it feeling like an insult or a bit of a slap in the face, this card is saying that you have your reasons. You know, you have your reasons, and in this season it makes the most sense to really trust yourself in the matters of protecting your peace, your prosperity, your passions, your rights, you know, your intuition, your thoughts, damn sure your home, like wherever life is sacred for you, your sanctuary of sorts. Hell, that means certain people just don't get an invitation because they acted up last year, or you just don't want a certain type of energy in your home. Like, you have to be able to trust that unapologetically, like really prioritize what you feel is best for you. And, you know, again, your peace and prosperity first and foremost, and then everything else after that. And I've gotten invitations that, this is just like a side note, you know, to be completely transparent. I've gotten an invitation in particular that I would absolutely not even mind accepting. Like, I know it'll be no harm, no foul per se, at least, you know, that's what I feel. But before I received the invitation, something in me was like, I even talked it over with my son. Like, I think we could just play a low key for Thanksgiving this year. Like, just, you know, chill at home. And when I mentioned it, I said, the only place I would be thoughtful of going is such and such. And then such and such actually extended an invitation. And I was like, see, we on the same wavelength. However, my first instinct is to just stay home, you know. And these days, I'm not even so keen about celebrating Thanksgiving in the traditional way that I grew up spending it, because it just has a different meaning to me anyway. Like, I don't even eat half of the foods that we covet for Thanksgiving, you know, traditionally as Black folks anymore. I don't really cook them either. My son doesn't really eat like that. So it's like, if I go to somebody's house, half the table I'm probably going to be not eating, and pressed to figure out what he's going to eat. And, you know, it just makes more sense to just be at home, be in peace, be in your own space, you know, and give thanks in a way that is special to me and to us, which for me, even though I don't necessarily celebrate the holidays as I used to, I still find the value in any opportunity to be in Thanksgiving or to, you know, to integrate the spirit of the holiday with what really actually makes sense in my life, you know. So anyway, 10 of Cups, there's a smorgasbord on your table, you know, perhaps, or one underway, and you have your guard up to make sure, like, if you weren't invited, please do not approach. That's the energy. So, and again, looking damn well doing it at that. Like, this could be even if you at home celebrating Thanksgiving, you know, you ain't even got to do too much, but for whatever reason, you're looking amazing. You know, and I love that for you, whoever you are. All dialed up, no pun intended. All right, so let's see. I'm gonna get a few more on the board. I'm enjoying these cards. Like, I definitely feel the vibe, so that's why I'm talking a lot more than usual. But cause side note, I was a Barbie girl, so this is why I was really drawn to these cards. But I wasn't the traditional Barbie girl because I just like dolls. It was more so their clothes. I had hella clothes, changed the Barbies into all types of stuff, all types of gear for all types of occasions. So I just love what each card reveals. Yep, Barbies was dressed down, honey. And that was, of course, greatly encouraged by my mom, who obviously was buying all the clothes. Had a whole wardrobe, literally a closet for my Barbies. So when you see me step out in the energy of style and stuff like that, just know it's nothing foreign. It's what I've been doing, but you just never probably experienced me in that vibe on this channel. It comes from a young, you know, a very organic place to just have an affinity for just how you present yourself and the spirit even that's connected to that presentation. It's all intertwined. Just a FYI. One more. Well, not one more, but can I get another one? Oh, that popped back. I ain't gonna take it. I should have taken it. Oh no, there we go. Lovers. Hey. A little Barbie and Ken action. Oh, let me lift it up so you can see. It's the Lovers card. Oh, hell yeah. Like, what? You got a hell of a lot to protect. You're protecting your boundaries on the perimeter of your peace, your prosperity, and your passion in terms of like your relationships and things. Like, this is amazing. Look at her looking over at him like, you all right, babe? So yeah, oh, this is so interesting. As the feminine force, it's like, I mean, obviously in true divine feminine energy, there is a reverence for co-creativity and you know, for there to be balance, especially in a relationship or in whatever relational dynamic you are in or aspire to. But it's giving head of household energy. Like, I can't. She's at the head of the table looking like she's about to carve the turkey. She's guarding the perimeter. She's checking in on hubby, making sure. It's like I'm every woman right here. Checking in, making sure he all right, you know, or maybe give him that little nudge, that little tap on the shoulder, like, you sleep? you know, which is usually the reverse. You get that little poke. That little you sleep poke from behind, and it's like the reversal of this. This is so funny to me. So it could be just the feminine force just really fully asserting herself in her energy. Maybe, hell, you might be a single mom, or a single in general, maybe no kids at all, but single in a sense that, you know, it is just you. So you have to kind of play that dual role and make sure that you're protecting your space, but also still in your, like I said, still looking good, still very much soft and feminine while at it. But then enters this Lovers. Oh, so this could be, interesting. This definitely could be the introduction or the insertion of the partnership that may allow some to fall back from their masculine force as much, you know, to really just fully be in their feminine energy. And although you might be the backup, or, you know, the strong partner in a dynamic, you don't have to be the only force anymore. In some cases, you don't have to be the dominant force in an imbalanced way. If anybody is particularly in a relationship where they feel like they're carrying a great deal of the weight, and that could be masculine or feminine, you know, truly. But I definitely felt that, like, that sense of head of household here, or some type of prominent energy, that it doesn't feel like a force, and it doesn't feel like, it feels like a pleasure. Like, it's my pleasure to be in my strength, especially given we started with that beautiful sun card. You know, it's my pleasure, and under the right circumstances, in the right space, it's the pleasure of the feminine to just be activated in all of this vitality. Like, we somewhat kind of love being active in the different capacities that we are, especially when we're given the safe space to do so. It's like not even a chore or a burden. It just comes naturally. So it may even be more of a natural progression into some more fluid expression of those polarities when there's a partnership that is strongly founded, you know, or strongly established. So a partner that will allow you to be all you can be, literally, that don't mind, you know, seeing you at the opposite end of the head of the table, you know, that don't mind getting that 2-3 a.m. little tap on the shoulder, if you will, like, gladly. You know, it's just, there's something very parallel, I love it. I'm feeling it. They don't mind the strong presence of a woman. They are strong as well. And they don't feel intimidated by allowing a woman to be in the strength that she naturally possesses, even as they still take that protective, you know, that dominantly protective stance, you know, for the most part. I love that. I love that. All right, let's see what else we got. There's a lot here. I mean, this is a lover's dynamic, so a divine union or partnership. This is generational wealth. There's a lot to be guarded about here. It's understandable, but I keep feeling the urge to say that I do keep feeling this urge to say that you don't have to be guarded in fear. You know, it's like to be alert, to be aware, to be ready at a moment's notice to get active if need be. But I feel like there's definitely something to being said about, not to say again that there isn't cause for guard or protection or strong boundaries, but that there doesn't have to be, it may not need to be so aggressive. Certainly might not need to be as proactive as it is poised from a reactive position. And I feel like I'm needed to say that because a lot of energy may be funneled into being proactively aggressive or guarded or ready for war, when that season may be dissipating a bit. You know, it feels weird to feel safe to say that, which is probably why this card was the leading one. But if it doesn't feel that like that already, or there's no evidence for you, I feel safe to say, I feel secure to say that that season is upon you, where you don't have to feel so paranoid, even perhaps, about what's coming, what's in the shadows, what's lurking, what shoe is about to drop, or you know what circumstance is about to take a turn. Like, it's a different type of season happening now. It's something far more settled and prosperous. As my phone goes off at 1:06, so that's a 7. 7. 6, 7, as the kids say, Lord Jesus, as mine says. So you might be able to kind of, you know, cool off a little bit, just a little bit. Maybe a lot of bit for some, if this is you. Like, who goes there? But I don't know. It's something to be said about the protection already being established about you. So if anybody comes approaching with bad intentions, it's like it'll trip the alarm in such a way, or alert authorities or something like that. In such a way that they wouldn't even, like I said before, they wouldn't even stand a chance to really even approach. They'd be better off just staying home, you know, or minding their business, or whatever the case may be. So a lot of the security work is being done for you by the measures that have been established on account of this energy, you know, before the season. It's like you've already done the work to secure your boundaries. And now you may be able to actually just enjoy Thanksgiving. Maybe. Just maybe. Just a little bit. Maybe a lot of bit. That's a big ass turkey right there. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot to be thankful for. Let's say that. Not just in the material sense, but certainly spiritually and energetically. That a lot of the worries that others may have about their safety and security and survival, let's say, are not really yours to bear, you know, or yours to assume. And that's a hell of a lot to be grateful for. Because when you look around just in social media and the, you know, the regular news, if you even watch it, it says a whole lot different, you know, for what's going on or what's being projected to be going on in the world. And here you are, safe and secure, plenty to eat, plenty to, you know, plenty of resources, and sincerely loved. Whether this is your own, the love you have cultivated within yourself, for yourself, or within the circle of folks that, you know, matter to you, or actually a partnership, or even if it's not a partnership manifested yet, this is having, you know, the foresight and the insight for that expectation. You know, it's only a matter of divine time, if that's what you want, you know. And that's beautiful. That's a sense of hope and faith that is hard to come by. Understandably hard to come by. All right, let me get a few more. I don't want to make this too long. I love how the nun got her picture on here. She like, you ain't gonna forget these my cards. Oh man, so funny. like Two of Cups. Oh my gosh, I was kind of zoned out for a second. It was weird. Two of Cups. Wow. So this is okay. So this is beautiful. Not only do we have the lovers confirming some type of, an intimate dynamic, then we got Two of Cups, which could even be good friendship. It doesn't even have to be soulmates, but it absolutely feels like it when it's coming right after the lovers. This is like a deep bond and connection, one that can be trusted, one that is not so much codependent. What's the word that's used? Oh, what is the word when there's like it's not a codependency, but there's like damn, I'm hearing pro-dependent. I know that's not it, but there's something that's kind of weird. That's the adverse of what I'm trying to get to here, where it's like, we're both just as strong in our energies. Again, everything I said, we're on the same page. You have your presence, I have mine, and it just blends together beautifully. And again, that could be intimately, that could be platonic. These girls is just shopping, having a good time, not worrying about, not being in the energy of like how much you spending or what you buying. No copycat energy here, no competition energy. It's just good times, man. Like, what? Yes, come through. I think they shopping anyway. I don't know. That's what I see. I see hella bags, but then that kind of look like a gym bag. So I don't know. They're doing something together that they're enjoying because they both look pleasant to me. So whether this is the intimate dynamic or if this is the platonic dynamic, it's just depicting a safety in relationships now. And for many of us, that has not been the case. There's been a lot of this, feeling like you have to be extra careful about who you engage with, damn sure who you sleep with, who you bring over to your house or whose house you go to, whose food you eat, who you call friend, like who you trust to talk to and to maybe share your most intimate secrets and details with, to share your plans for the future, to just be yourself with. Like, it's beautiful. Oh my gosh. A lot to look forward to, a lot to be grateful for if you already have this. And like I said, if you have the projection that this is possible in your life, like you're almost at the point where you're kind of lowering the shotgun at this point. You might be keeping it close by, but you're not necessarily like locked and loaded at every noise, every impulse. Like you're living more in this soft life here. This is the gratitude. This is the gratitude. This is the gratitude too. Don't get me wrong. But this is the gratitude. It's the life. Good food, maybe good sex, a great relationship, good friends, living in a space that's so comfortable that you don't feel like you have to go out anywhere for anything, including for holidays. Like you just feel at home all the time, or you feel full, and fulfilled being in your own sanctuary. And for those that you would like to invite to share in that experience with you, you have a good pool of people to tap into. Yeah, like that's if you want to. And if not, you're cool either just being at home by yourself or being with your family, being in your household. Let's see what we got here. 3 of Swords. Oh man, here we go. And 6 of Swords. Okay. 6 of Swords. Okay, so yeah, this is like recovery from like past heartbreaks. They looking at a Ouija board. I don't know what that's about. But this could be exactly what I'm speaking of. Like this is having recovered. Right? Oh no, that's the 4 of Swords. Hold on. 6 of Swords is moving on, like moving forward. But it definitely gives this sense of recovery and relaxation, though. But maybe having crossed over that season of life where you may have had some untrustworthy energies in your midst, you know, where you had to be mindful, like people may have been secretly plotting against you, people, or just secretly, not this Two of Cups, this like the adverse of this, where you don't really know how people truly feel about you, because they present themselves with one face or one facade. But this could be like secretly got some others, like, let's just take it all the way mystical. This could be people in your midst that you didn't even know was into like spell work and black magic and this and that, and they doing all types of fuck shit in the background to interfere with your happiness, maybe to cut it off or evade this soft life that they see either you having or see being a possibility for you. They had wanted to interrupt that, maybe even make an exchange for what they're experiencing, exchange of what they're experiencing for what you are. So like, it just feels like something secretly sinister here with the Three of Swords that was like up to no good. But I love that we've progressed on in double time, as a matter of fact, from the Three of Swords to the Six of Swords, where it's like you're leaving that behind. That's the thing of the past, and it does, and you're so calm and collected about it at this point that it's not a callous in your heart anymore with the Three of Swords. It's not a trauma that is plaguing your peace. You know, it's not keeping you from enjoying the prosperity of life as it is and as it's unfolding, because it's just a non-factor, you know, at this point. It happened, it was a thing. You may have already even designated a meaning or a purpose for your experiences and your encounters, people, places, and things, and you're on to calmer waters, literally being pampered, spoiled, healed, rejuvenated. You have new beliefs now that are being nurtured about what life truly has to offer and where you truly belong, and where, you know, and maybe in some cases where some people, places, and things don't, or where you don't within that those dynamics. Becoming more in tune with the true nature of yourself is what I'm getting with the Six of Swords, or on your way to it. You know, really discovering, like maybe even getting back to your natural essence. But again, that sun energy, where you don't have to dim your light anymore, or you don't have to be careful not to shine too much or to say too much, or, you know, or that all of your light is being absorbed for some nefarious purpose. You know, like you don't have to guard yourself that way anymore. You get to just be naturally. That's amazing. Let's see where we at. 48, you just get to be. I think I'm gonna leave it there. I was gonna take one more, but I think I'm gonna leave it there, and I'll see what's on the bottom and on the top of this deck, and we'll close it down at that point. Let me see. Like, I don't know. It's just so much good stuff here. You know, I feel like what the measures that you've taken to be protective and to erect strong boundaries is what ultimately has afforded the potential of all of this to manifest. And with this 10 of coins, it's such a material, such an actual factual manifestation. You know, the lovers, the cups, even with the swords, sometimes it could be more theoretical, you know, or emotional, or like a thought. But this is leading here with that is saying that this is actually happening. This is not a drill. And whether you're in a relationship or you have friendships, it's like prepare for it to be taken to a next level, a new height. Prepare, if you've already been taking good care of yourself and, you know, transitioning into a softer life, prepare for that to be advanced that much more. Like it's going to another level now. And I think it's a level that you're really, really going to enjoy. You're going to like this one. You're going to like it. All right, let's see what we got. 8 of Cups. Oh, yeah. Wait, that's 9 of Cups. What's the 8 of Cups? Oh, that's like moving on. Yeah, and I get that, like moving, like some things are being left behind. Particularly, again, this extreme paranoia or guardedness. Paranoia feels like low vibrational, so don't absorb that if you don't feel that. But this extreme guardedness, maybe defensiveness, there it is, extreme defensiveness, for good reason, you know, particularly on account of misalignments in your auric field. It's like at this point, look at her. Look how fly she is. Like, what? Look at her. She's unbothered and moving forward unapologetically. Shades on, cute little casual outfit, but chic, you know, well put together. Hair is fabulous, you know, like there's no apologies here about her believing that there's more in store. And that's what the 8 of Cups is a lot about, like just recognizing when there is a sense of unfulfillment or misalignment, and no matter how much time or energy or hope you may have invested in a space and time, in a person, in a place, you realize that you realize you can't settle for what's just enough, you know, like good enough, you know, that could, the conditionings of settlement as they can be in relationships, in prosperity, or our aspirations to be prosperous. Like, oh, I don't need all that money, I could just get by with it. No, you need as much as is written and ordered for you to possess. The more you have, the more you can do, you know, and purposefully. No, you don't have to settle for that man that just comes home every night. Well, at least he comes home to me. No, if you're not loving the experience of his presence or her presence when you are at home, you don't have to settle for that. No, you don't have to settle for frenemies just because y'all been close or, you know, cool since preschool. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to settle because it's a group of folks that are what's the word, like that have some benefit to you, like professionally or creatively. There's some exchange there. There are much brighter people and more enjoyable connections to make that are also productive and prosperous. And here it is again. You don't have to settle for being a part of things that are hurting you and not helping you, just because you don't know what's in store beyond it. Or again, it's like a sense of comfort or familiarity. Nah, like you don't have to be settled in family traditions. You don't have to be settled in societal norms and traditions. You can move on and create new, establish new belief systems and conventions for yourself at a moment's decision. And that's what the 8 of Cups is. Like, it may not even make sense to those that are in the wake of your absence, you know. It may not make sense, like, well, what's wrong with her? What's wrong with him? Why she can't hang out no more? Why she don't come by no more? Why we don't hear from her? Whatever. It may not make sense, but as long as it makes sense to you, at this point, that's all that matters. Everything else will come out in the wash, and those that you're meant to reconnect with, whether it's now or later, it'll happen naturally and divinely. So whenever you get that insight to move, or to move on, move forward, move away, disconnect, Block. Listen to it. Listen to it. Who's this? Lad of Wands. I think that's the Knight of Wands. Yeah, I think that's the Knight of Wands. Yeah, and honestly, that's with the fervor and the ambition. I feel like that's like the energy behind this moving on. You know how the Knight of Wands, they don't really think too much before they act. You know, like they are, let's say this, in a higher vibration, they're very instinctual. And that's the call here, to follow your instincts, plain and clear. Especially when you're at the point in time in your life where you've had experiences that there's been evidence for why you should trust yourself, especially when you've had these strong boundaries as is, and there's been, you know, there's been a great case made and built for why this was necessary at a time. You know, you can trust your instincts, and you can trust what may seem to be impulsive from others' perspective as just, you know, par for the course as far as you're concerned, because you know that when your senses tell you it's time to move, or it's time to get active or respond, maybe even be defensive, or sometimes proactive in this case, you do it because you know that it's a matter of your sense of security on the line, and of course on your it's a matter of your advancement and prosperity is at stake. And with all of this on the table, again, it's like, I feel like that's really what it's falling more into now that we're ending here. It's like not being so again, I'll say lightly paranoid about what could be coming, because you've cultivated so much personal security and insurance at this point that your instincts are protective enough. You'll know, you'll feel it, you'll hear it, you'll sense it. And as long as you are operating in your integrity to respond, you know, to those instincts and respond to those nudges, there's no fear here. There's no intimidation. You really don't even have to be all that on guard, because this type of energy will be happening naturally for you. It'll just be a fluid feeling in your body, just to know, like, nah, like I said, knowing my first instinct is, oh, I think I'm gonna just chill at home. It's probably nothing that's gonna, you know, I might even enjoy myself going to the invitation that I got. But for some reason, I was first thoughtful to make myself at home for Thanksgiving. There's a reason for that. So 9 times out of 10, I'm going to honor that and ask questions never. Later at best, but probably never, you know. And you may or may not even know why. Like, there may not be any particular reason why that matters, you know, but then again, maybe there might be a revelation of like, yeah, I knew it. I need to stay home, you know what I mean? Or it was best I stay home. Shoot, it could be just as simple as you think it might be a good time, but it may be, like I said, it maybe is really not going to be, and not because the company isn't good, but you, like I said, you don't really eat the food, so you feel bad turning everything down, and you could have just stayed at home and made all the things that you like, you know? So it could be simple things that lead us to, you know, that space of security and assurance. And it could be major things that get solidified later. I think the overall theme is that it really doesn't matter. You know, it doesn't matter why you're standing your ground, how simple or how extreme it may be. It only matters that you honor yourself and your personal integrity to do so. That's it. That's it. But all of this juicy stuff right here, oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I love that for you, for me, for whomever is in alignment for it. You deserve it, indeed. All right, so I'm going to leave it there. We're right under, barely under an hour, and I'm not going to talk anymore. see the bulletin board below or the beginning of this message for the announcement of the prayer event and times. Thank you for listening and watching. Shout out to the Ghetto Nun for these amazing cards. I can't wait to use them again. And until next time, as always, I'll leave you with peace.